What's up, YouTube? Back with another Beers and Bars video. I'm Casey.
This is Court.
And today we are not reacting. We're doing another rap chat. We just got done checking out Juice WRLD's Into the Abyss documentary.
This was amazing.
This was crazy.
Yeah.
So a lot of you guys asked us to listen to this. I will say there were some spoilers in there for some of the songs that we want to react to in the near future.
However, small snippets, like very small snippets.
Right. And it did give us a really good eye-opening experience to just how crazy famous he really was in such a short amount of time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't think I kind of know it because of like you guys see it. The numbers that Juice WRLD videos do on YouTube, stuff like that. But when I saw how many people were in his stands, when he was doing live tours and stuff like that, and just going crazy, and then I saw the news interviews and stuff like that, it was absolutely insane.
Yeah, definitely was, man. And oh wow, I mean, it's just everything happened so fast for him.
Right.
Think about 2017, the beginning, when it all started. When he had that stream that went for over wasn't it over 1 billion views?
Yeah, it's something crazy.
Insane.
He was doing crazy numbers. That was just unbelievable. The entire time. And what is really weird about it, like one of the things he says in this documentary was he didn't realize that he thought only people that were famous got studio time, which I thought was hilarious. And so he was recording in his room or his basement or whatever. And so that whole time he could have been in the studio, but he wasn't. He was just recording in his basement on his phone, doing whatever. And he still didn't give up.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, because if we think about the start, just where everything all began. I remember on this documentary, how he was talking about, he was recording songs on his phone.
Right.
And it was just constant freestyles. And I'm talking, listen, a normal rapper or whatever, you do one freestyle, 2 freestyle, you're done. This guy was doing what? Up to 10 freestyles a night? I'm just man, this is insane.
Well,
I don't know how this guy's brain works, man. That's
dedication.
Insane. Yeah.
And
definitely.
And one thing that I took for the opening scene of this documentary was Juice WRLD rapping in his bed with some of his friends and his girlfriend around, right?
Yeah.
And he's clearly just waking up.
Yeah.
And he's clearly still probably high, but he's still rapping. He doesn't stop. And a lot of you guys said he's always rapping, he's always rapping, he's always rapping. And I'm yeah, everybody says they're always rapping, they're always practicing, doing whatever, right? But when you see this documentary, you realize that he really didn't stop doing it. You see him on the plane falling asleep, nodding off, right? And he wakes up and then he just keeps rapping. And then he nods off and he's oh wait, he's what time is it? He's we gotta go to the studio. We just gotta go to the studio.
Exactly. And it's just you know what, hey, and I'm gonna tell you this. Casey and I joke about, he does this shit in his sleep. And that's what it seemed like, because it's when he does wake up, it's oh my God, I was probably dreaming about this. Let me just go ahead and drop this quick 16,
right?
In the studio, you know what I mean?
And we named one of our reaction songs to Most Naturally Gifted, right?
Yeah.
And I got a lot of heat for saying that we should name it that because you guys were he practiced all the time. He practiced all the time. And I was yeah, he does, but he doesn't he practiced all the time. I was wrong. He definitely did that. He put in the work. He was definitely on that grind. His ability to just keep going was pretty much unmatched. Now, I don't know if that was the drugs or all the different things that he was on that just kept him going, or if it was just self-motivation or a little bit of both, but it was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's if, and it's if we think about that, especially, now how we could talk about his work ethic, man. It was unmatched, man, because of the fact that we were even hearing in there how he would go over a song, right? He would just go there, just spit straight freestyle bars, and then he'll come in and just record over that again, and then go over that again and again and again, and then he will tell the engineers, hey, pick which one sounds best,
right?
You know, and that's insane, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like his whole ability to just go into the booth or go into whatever situation he was doing and just start like freestyling and rapping and doing all that stuff was pretty amazing to me. And one thing that I still don't get or understand, like
Hmm.
one of the things like so most of the like throughout the video, right? Or throughout
Yeah.
the documentary, you see him going on a like his live tour.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm still confused about how he was able to do was when they pieced together a song for it that to make it a song or whatever, right?
Yeah.
How did he memorize that to go live?
And that's another thing that I was thinking about too, because this was all freestyle. And so you think, is he sitting on the plane listening to his recordings and
And
stuff like that?
practicing?
Because that's the, you know what? Because that's the stuff that we didn't see. Like when he's on the plane, he's just chilling, chopping it up with his friends, and like with his girl and everything like that. And then he gets off the plane, gets on the bus, and goes straight to the stage and just starts like ripping everything, man.
Right.
It's just like, how do you remember that? Like, how do you have that type of memory? And it just
Especially with the
like
amount
makes
of
me
drugs
think,
he was
man,
on.
yeah, so he had like a ultra super like whatever like type of like a photographic memory, man,
Right.
to just put all of this stuff together with everything that he was on to come out and remember everything, spit these songs like it's like nothing. I mean, it's just insane, man. It's insane.
Yeah. And I mean, like that basically like talks about his work ethic, right? Like
Yeah.
the amount of work that he put in to doing what he did, like it was clear that he was working for a long time before he got to like this huge like
Yeah.
platform like status, right? And I don't remember, maybe I missed it in the documentary. What was his breakout moment? Did you catch that? Because I don't think that
Yeah.
I caught that.
So I think with this, man, the breakout moment, I think it was that first song that happened in 2017 where he had those billion streams. Oh, like
Right.
it
Which
was
song was that? Do you
something that
remember?
was like about a female. Like I think it was, man.
Okay.
Like I think it
Comments,
was
let
about
us
that
know.
because I remember like he had like all dreads, just like I'm all alone. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
hey, everything was long and stuff like that. And I remember like he was like rapping about that, and yeah, and that song just that went
Like
viral like
torpedoed.
triple
Yep.
like I mean just like a
Like
billion times over, man.
super
That's
plat. Yeah.
insane. And then from there, it was just like, damn, all of this stuff just started happening for him, man. It was like super fast.
I will say that like it was it's pretty amazing and impressive how he was able to continue to work and continue to that grind on that fast track level when something blew up for him, because most people,
Exactly.
right, they get caught up, like they're like, oh, I've been
Yeah.
working really hard, and then something blows up and they're not ready for it to blow up and they can't keep up with the amount of success they're getting and the amount of time they're getting it, and he was able to keep up, which is amazing.
Exactly. And I think with that, you know what? And I like that you said that, man, because that ties into some of his influences. Because I remember how he would talk about the Bigs, the Pacs, and the Nas's, and I remember how Pac was, in the studio all night, just like
Pushing out
just like pushing out tracks, pushing out content, pushing out this, pushing out that, or whatever. And that work ethic, I mean, everything was just just like out like that. So I think, just like with that, since like those were some of his major influences, man, he studied them. He was like, hey, how do they do it? How do they become so successful? And he took note of that, man. And he just made everything his own. And like, look at him, man. He just,
Yeah, it was
my God.
well, and talking about his influences, right?
Yeah.
So he had so many influences, clearly,
So many.
because we watched like the Eminem, like right on the Westwood.
Yep.
Everybody in the comments has told us like Future was one of his major influences.
Future.
He was on a track, like an album or a track with him.
Oh yeah.
Ski Mask, the one we just did.
Yeah.
He was like best friends with him. We saw him doing like lightsaber battles
Definitely,
and shit.
definitely.
Which was cool to be able to see like Juice WRLD doing like some fun stuff with his friends,
man,
like enjoying
man.
some of that money that he made.
Him just like wilding out, man.
Yeah, he didn't just
Yeah.
he didn't just like nonstop tour, obviously, right? Like he also did enjoy some of his life, which is good. But going back to like some of his influences or his inspiration, you got to think like he clearly studied rap like
Yes.
inside and out because
Yeah.
he was able to ride pretty much anyone's beat that got thrown at him.
Yeah.
He was able to write his own beats like no one else. He was able to just freestyle like off the top, like quick, like crisp, like, and he could just come up with stuff like nonstop. And I kind of get his like method of like, you know, like if I mess up, whatever, just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like just like keep spinning, keep spinning, keep spinning. And then he talked about in one of his songs or like in one of like, or one part of the documentary where he was saying like, my kindergarten teacher didn't think I was going to be anything. My family didn't think I was going to be anything. They put me on a bunch of like Adderall and stuff when I was real young. And because they thought I was like like I had ADD. And he's like, what 5th grader or 5-year-old or whatever age he was doesn't like have a bunch of energy. Yeah. He's like, I think kids were crazy. Like if they were just sitting still and they were super focused when they're in 5th grade, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with him. Like, ADD is what it is, but like, probably most kids don't need to be on medicine for that. They just need an outlet for like.
You know what though? Like exactly. And it's like, I think, you know, anybody or whatever, you know what? Like I just feel like this, you know, doctors, you know, they just shove meds down your throat. Right. There's money or whatever. Like they make money or just like whatever. And so they try to like diagnose you just like with whatever. And they try to scare you or whatever. Like, hey, listen, if you don't take this, then this could happen, that could happen. But like knowing that there's like natural, you know, like natural remedies out there, you know, that can help a person. Like I had people in my family that dealt with stuff, but we like moved to like natural remedies to, you know, like overcome, you know, those different you know, like those different situations. However, but like with Juice, unfortunately, you know, they put him on all of these prescribed, you know, medicines or whatever. And I think that that's something that might have fueled, you know, the use,
the start,
like,
the start of him
that's
using
right, just
all
like
those
the continuation of, you
and
know,
then,
all these other things,
then,
and like it just like escalated to the Perkies and all the other stuff.
Right, it escalates because he sees his favorite artists and his favorite rappers doing it and like taking lean and doing this and doing that, right?
Yeah,
and so he starts doing it a little bit more and a little bit more. He starts getting success, and he ties those two things together.
Yeah, It's like if you think about it though, like you see it on TV. Like I remember on the show Power, you know, they were doing lean on Power, and then like there was like numerous artists talking about, you know, I got a bottle full of lean, blah 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 blah, or like whatever, you know. So it sounds cool. It's popular. It's like the thing to do, and also Juice and like other people too, using it as like a coping mechanism, man. Just like, hey, it makes you feel good. It takes you away from all of this drama, all the stuff that I'm dealing with. And there it just becomes, you know, like a major addiction, man.
Right. And I'm curious to like hear what you guys think about Juice WRLD's addiction, stuff like that. Because I know like a lot of you guys talk about he's like a big outlet for you, like, or like he's helped you guys through a lot of different things. And music for a lot of people, like all genres, like all types of music for the history of music helps people through like hard times in their life. So let us know what you like what is the moment that Juice WRLD helped you guys out? And because we're curious, right? Like Juice WRLD is obviously much younger than we are. And so our relationship to him is more like musical than it is like him changing our lives kind of thing, right?
Definitely.
Like we have our own artists from our time when we were growing up with musicians. Like for me, it's Eminem, right? Like I listen to the Eminem show on repeat like 9 million times. Like
so he has Eminem show. I have like all of the Pac CDs, all of the Kendrick CDs, all of the Common and Nas and stuff like that. Like those are the things that help me cope, you know, through stuff.
But like clearly Juice WRLD was able to do that for millions of people because we see it like look at this like photo right here.
600 million streams.
Like, right. Like it's
like a billion streams. So this is a lot of people.
This is crazy, right? And so like just because the older generation cannot understand like or doesn't relate doesn't mean he isn't doing that for millions and millions of people like across the world. So it's very interesting to us like to try to better understand like where people are coming from when they're listening to Juice WRLD and how it is that he like changed like their life. Because like music talks to people in different ways, and so I would be interested to hear from you guys on how that plays out.
Exactly, because it's like we've been seeing in the comments like how Juice changed the lives of many, you know. So honestly, yeah, like we are curious as to how, like what did he help you out with? Or like what type of situation, like was it? Like if it's too private, hey, like we understand, and like if you don't want to share, you don't have to share, but it just like really makes us curious though, because it's like, man, all of these people, and he's, I mean, yeah, it's like touching everybody, man.
Right. And it was like really eye opening to get like a peek behind the curtain.
Hmm.
Honestly, for me, a lot of this documentary was like real sad because he, like, clearly him and his entourage were on a lot of drugs. And I think that had there been somebody, because I think like it was it Chris Webby, I think it was his
I think
name.
it was, yeah.
He, like, towards the end of the documentary, he was like, you need to cut that amount of lean that he's trying to do. You need to like cut that
Exactly.
down. You need to drop those numbers, that kind of stuff. But it seemed like most of his crew were all doing a good amount of like drugs with him. And so
Exactly.
like it doesn't seem like he had anybody, like it doesn't seem like he had a chance, right? To
Yeah.
get clean or to get some help that he probably needed to take a
Hmm.
break, to realize that yes, like I said earlier, he was super impressive in the fact that he could ride this wave, right? Like
Yeah.
most people would get like just completely swallowed or enveloped in
Mm.
like how much
Exactly.
success that he had in such a short amount of time and how quickly it happened. But somebody needed, we would probably still have Juice if somebody took him out. What are you doing, cat?
Yeah.
What are you doing over here?
Yeah, man. We got little man doing it.
Don't
Yeah.
mind Prometheus. He's wild.
Like I hear you on that right there, man. It's just like if we, yeah, if I think if the majority wasn't doing what he was doing, like if there was a few people that could just like say, "Hey, listen, man, like you need to cut back on this, like you need to slow down on this, man,"
Right.
then I think that it might have been like a different situation. But also too, just to like I'm thinking about that, like a lot of people who shoot to fame so fast, like it's a struggle, man.
Right.
And it's just like you think about it, man. It's just like, man, the stuff has happened so fast. Like, what can I do to kind of just like slow this down like a little bit, or just kind of like take a break, take a breather? And I think maybe sometimes, or like maybe like more times than often, those drugs like might have did that from like for him
Right.
because of
They're
the fact
taking the
that
edge off.
he was having trouble just kind of like accepting these millions of people, saying, "Hey, Juice, I love you. Like you're like an inspiration to me," and so on and so forth, man. So I think like he really struggled with that, man.
Yeah, and it was the whole thing about it is pretty sad because like you could see, and like one of the guys in the video, I can't remember which one of the producers it was. I think it was his music producer, was talking about like, now looking back on it,
Mhm.
I could hear in his music the whole time it was like a cry for help, like a
Yeah,
good amount of it, right? Like
yeah,
he was saying like wishing well, right?
yeah. Like
Right?
that
Like,
was
like
like
it's like a
one,
perfect example
definitely.
of one of the songs. Like, and
Yeah,
so there's a lot of like evidence in this that he wanted to stop, but he could see the happiness on all of his friends' faces for providing for them and keeping that going and like just continuing to push. And that, I think that was what his driving factor was, right? Like he
yeah.
kept doing it for his friends, his family,
Hmm.
his mom, his loved ones, like, and all that, right? Like, and he just kept going, but to
Hmm.
his own detriment.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And it's just like it's crazy, man, because now that you mentioned that, man, just thinking about how he bought his mom's a house and like how his
Right.
mom's was just so happy and everything, and then yeah, just being able to like bless those that was around him, that was like closest to him. So he's like, hey, this is a way for me to cope with this, and this is a way for me to continue to provide for the people that is closest to me, the ones that I love, you know, but at the same time, he's thinking, hey, is this stuff real? Is this like really happening? And that's what I think that he was like really struggling with. Is just like, man, like I was sitting in like a 1 bedroom shack or whatever,
Right.
like this, like much, like this many years ago or whatever, and like now this is happening. I'm on the beach. I'm in a private jet. I'm touring. You know,
Well,
you
and
know, providing joy to these millions of people and everything. Like, is this really real? And I think that was like a really big struggle for him, man.
well, and you mentioned that, and like one of the things, like one of the notes that I took from this was how he like early on like was like worried about the fame and how
Yeah,
much the fame that he was getting, because he was talking to somebody on the phone. I don't remember who it was, but he was basically saying like, I don't want to be somebody in Hollywood that nobody understands,
exactly,
and I've forgotten my way and I've forgotten who I was and all this stuff, right?
exactly.
And so he dealt with the fame in a bunch of different ways, and it seemed like he would bounce between like, I'm super famous and
Hmm.
I'm also a regular person. And
Yeah,
he like, I was like, he did do a really good job of keeping up, but at the same time you could tell that he was struggling with just like how
yeah,
surreal the whole situation was.
yeah.
Like,
That's right.
he's just like, and even some of his friends were like, oh, if I would have 8 times platinum, I would have been doing this and this, and I would have bought this and this and this. He didn't buy hardly anything, and like he just bought
Yeah,
some
that's
dirt
right.
bikes and stuff, right? Like,
And that's what I like, though. It's just like he's showing his love. Like that was his getaway.
right,
And I like seeing that from artists, like where they, like they have this outlet and like they have something that they could just say, hey, like this is all mine, this is all me, and this is my passion, this is my joy. And they could just like get away from it all, man. And I was so happy to see that those dirt bikes was that outlet for
yeah,
him,
it
man.
was. He had a great
Like
time
it's
on those things.
amazing, man.
Like,
It's amazing to see,
it
man.
brought me back to my childhood. I had dirt bikes when I was a kid. I was like,
yeah.
I was talking, like we were watching it, and my wife was watching it with us, and I was like, when my son gets a little older, we're gonna be riding some dirt bikes. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh yeah.
Because I
Oh, yeah.
miss doing that. I grew up. One of my best friends growing up, he had a KTM 125. And we used to make fun of him because he wouldn't take that thing out of second gear.
Oh yeah.
He would start it in second gear. We're like,
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah,
destroy
yeah.
your fucking engine.
Yeah.
You got to get that thing like revved up. He was too scared to like
Oh,
be
yeah.
shifting out of that thing because it had so much power. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So let's get back to Juice. Like, he was, like you said, like he was struggling with fame. He was struggling with the drugs. What do you think? Like, how? Like, I don't want this to be like trying to put blame on anybody or
Yeah.
anything like that, right? But what do we think about like his friend group, and were they in a position to help him, or do you think that they realized like the situation that he was in?
Yeah, and it's just like what's like really weird and kind of sad at the same time is that I think that they really didn't realize it all until it was too late.
That's what it seems like.
Because I think in the moment, everybody's just like having so much fun. And of course, perks, lean, Xannies, all of that stuff is like the popular thing.
Right.
And they were just on, they were on like a spiritual high and an emotional high and also a physical high
Right.
at the same time. And I think it's just like things happen so fast that
I mean, it was only 2 years. Like,
yeah,
like,
yeah, that's right. And it's
it's
just
such
like
a short
you
amount
think
of
about
time.
show, studio, freaking
Tour
whatever.
bus,
I mean, like it's just
plane,
like
next.
yeah, huh? Yeah, and it's like it seemed like they really didn't have any time just to kind of, hey, let's breathe. Hey, let's go to this beach. Let's, like enjoy this moment. And it just like feels like he really didn't have a chance to like really enjoy that moment, or like neither did his friends. And so
Right.
it was just like constant work, radio show, this, that. And I just think that nobody really realized it until it was too late. Like, damn, maybe we could have did this little extra to help him. Or like maybe I could have, dropped this addiction or dropped that or whatever and said, hey, listen, man, like we all need to get help. Like all of us need to get help.
Right. Yeah. And it seems like that, like, especially because after, like, when we're watching the documentary and at the end of it, like all of his friends, they were there, they were talking, they seemed, well, except with the exception of Allie, they all seemed fairly sober in all of those. Right. Even his mom created a foundation, which was like super, like awesome. If you guys didn't know, go check that out. I think I wrote it down. It was like the Live 999 Foundation, I think.
And but like you mentioned something about, Allie, like it, I mean, like it really seemed that she was like broken, man. And like, you know what? And it's like, I'm like surprised, like how, strong she was in that, and like how she kind of like kept it together, man. Because listen, man, like if I would have lost, like my better half, man,
Yeah.
I would have been broken, man. I would have
Yeah.
been broken. And
For sure.
so I'm just like really like surprised, like she held how she held it up like the way that she did, man. And I'm just like, man, I mean, just thinking about, damn, like maybe we could have did this little extra. Maybe we could have did this. Maybe, maybe we could have did that, man. And then, like, unfortunately, like sometimes it just does not happen until it's too late, man.
Right. Yeah. And so
And
it's as sad as it is, like one of the things that we have to like take into account is that Juice WRLD did help a ton of people, like as we're seeing, like, right,
yes,
like we get to see this documentary and we get to see like obviously, like if HBO is making a documentary about you, you
Yeah.
did something. You made a big difference in
Yes.
people's lives, right?
definitely.
And Juice WRLD definitely did that for millions and millions of people, and he continues to do so. Like one of the things that we wanted to talk about was like, how is Juice WRLD going to be remembered? Like,
Yeah.
he is going to be remembered. Like I've been saying from like day one and like our Juice journey,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
It's like
that's right.
the you don't die until your name stops being mentioned.
Mhm.
And every
That's
one
right.
of those dudes that was in that documentary was talking about like, they're like, I think it was Chris Long. He was
Yeah.
saying like, Juice WRLD is being played every minute of every day,
Mhm.
like for the rest of all of our lifetimes, which
yeah.
is like a wild thought.
Yeah.
And when you think about that, like conceptually, like it's so true, right?
Mhm.
Like, and it's not just like people just watching his like individual songs or what he did or like, right? Things continues to get leaked or get released. We have reaction channels like ours that are paying homage and like tribute to what he did.
Yep.
Just how amazing he was, and
Yeah.
millions of people are watching those, and it continues and it like grows his audience more and more and
Definitely.
more.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I would say this too. It's just like, hey, it goes to show, hey, all of you are keeping him alive. Like you're keeping his legacy alive.
100%.
And just like without a doubt. And I think, yeah, just how they were even mentioning in that documentary that, yeah, like 20, 30, 50 years from now, you're gonna have like that youngster, listening to Juice, just, I don't know, just like pulling them up, on like YouTube or just like whatever is gonna be popular, like during that time. And I still think like he's still gonna change lives. Like he is gonna go out there, he's gonna change lives, he's gonna bring joy to people. It's gonna be like an amazing feeling. And like this is the type of artist right here that is gonna have a legacy that lives on forever. Straight up.
Yeah, he was super special. Like,
Yeah.
it's uncanny how well he did in such a short amount of time,
Mhm.
and just how many people he was able to reach and how fast he grew. Like, I know that
Yeah.
we're in the age and we're in the time where like things go viral, but like this
Yeah.
is another level of viral. And when
Yeah.
like I'm listening to some of this stuff, like when he was on that Eminem like Westwood, like that was unbelievable. Like,
Mhm.
I have never heard somebody go off top and be able to match what Eminem did for the last like 15 years. Like, that is
Exactly.
absurd. And some of you guys told me in the chat, in the comments, that you didn't even hear the song that he rapped over, like the beat that he rapped over
Mhm.
from Eminem. If
Yeah.
that's you, you need to go listen to that, because
Yes.
Eminem, like,
Yes, that's right.
You need to pay homage just like Juice did.
Exactly.
Because to understand how good those songs were and how good Juice WRLD was, you need to understand what he did over and like how he's paying homage to those guys. Because
Yes.
the fact that Eminem called him is unbelievable. The fact that
Exactly.
he was on an Eminem song is unbelievable, especially because of how short of a time he had fame. Like, people work for 10s, 20 years, do not get a call from Eminem.
With that,
And
yeah.
they're super good.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Like,
Because I know artists, I know artists that like worked for at least like 10, 12 years, and then they're getting a call from Eminem, hey, I want you to be on the track.
right.
But yeah, like Juice WRLD, just like in that short
In
amount of time,
2 years, that's insane.
damn, it's in that short amount of time. So it just goes to show like
he
what
was with
could
Future,
have
he was with
been.
Wayne.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And it,
his legacy like is going to live on for a
Definitely.
long. Like,
Definitely.
he won't go away. Like, this will continue to be amazing. And you guys, your generation, like the
Mhm.
Juice WRLD generation, is going to be feeding this forever. Like,
Definitely.
because this will be like when I listen to, I don't know, Twisted Sister or Metallica, my mom's generation or my dad's generation, right?
Mhm.
Like music that they brought me up on and I still like to listen to, and I'm passing it on to my kids. Like, that's going to be that's going to be Juice WRLD for your guys' kids and their kids and their kids.
Yep. And it's just like me with Tupac,
Exactly.
straight up,
Right?
just like legends, like people
Legends.
that are going to live on forever.
What Juice WRLD did was truly amazing.
Yep.
What he
So-
continues to pass on is truly amazing.
Mhm.
Juice WRLD had buzzworthy bars.
Straight up.
I'm sad to say that we didn't know him when he was alive.
Yeah. I wish that would have happened. And I wish that we could have reacted to like all of his dope ass jams, like while he was still here on this earth, man.